I'm Beverly Welch. We're here at the Arbor Gate today in Tomball, Texas with Angela Chandler of the Garden Academy.
Good morning, Beverly.
Hello, Angela. So, pocket planting.
Yes.
You know, everyone gets so focused on herbs and the evergreens, the perennials. You know, it's always nice to leave those little pockets of that annual color. It's
Right.
hard to beat.
It is hard to beat. And, you know, everybody needs a little pop of something all the time.
Yes.
And our evergreens, we rely on them for that beautiful green textural coverage that we have in the landscape. And just like these gorgeous plants here, there's no reason that we can't put a little color in front of them, especially
Right.
something complementary.
Right, right. And it's so easy to do. And you know, it's daunting to think that you have to do flats and flats and flats
Right.
of annual color, when oftentimes these big bursts of color in small pockets can almost make a greater impact.
They really can, because it's close together and it's a lot of intense color.
Right. How do we go about this?
Well, the reason I started pocket planting is that I don't really like to dig in clay gumbo, and I don't think anybody does.
Right.
Now, your beds, of course, are this beautiful soil, but not all of us are quite there yet. And so pocket planting does two things. One, it gets that little burst of color, or it gets a whole flat of veggies quickly into your garden.
Right.
But the other thing it does is it's part of that top-down continual soil improvement. Every time you plant a pocket, you're putting in all of the good things, and over time, the more you do this, every season, year by year, it slowly improves your soils.
You know, and people really don't think about that through the rains, through a season, you do lose a certain amount of nutrition,
Right.
and you do lose a certain amount of topsoil, especially after events like Harvey.
That's exactly right. So this is a good way to do that, and because it's spread out over time, it's easier on the labor, and it's also easier on your pocketbook. It's just a little bit
Yes.
all the time.
And I love that whole top-down concept of feeding.
It's really, really great. It's part of the no-till concept of gardening. And lets nature do the work. All of the earthworms and all the other little things in nature are going to start blending all this for us. And like I say, slowly but surely our soil gets better and better.
Yes.
And it's starting to get warm, and so this is a nice way to not have to get out and do really heavy work and still
Right.
have a lot of impact.
Right, right. An hour,
Oh
and
yeah,
you're done,
at
or
most.
less, and less.
Okay.
So we've got an area here, and I know one concern with pocket planting is already the roots of your established plants.
That's right. And so we're going to stay very shallow. We're not going to bother those roots at all. So this is
Perfect.
a really good way to work into your existing landscape.
Perfect.
So no matter what kind of soil profile we have, all we're going to do is we're not going to dig a hole. We're going to scrape out a shallow bowl. It doesn't really have to be terribly deep at all. And it can really just be deep enough to act like a little well.
Now, if they themselves don't have the luxury of this
Beautiful
soil
soil.
on top, they can just literally take one bag
Yes.
of soil and just put it in the spot, right?
Yes, they sure can. Just needs to be low and wide enough, not a big tall cone. Because
Okay.
a big tall cone, when you water, when it rains, it's going to beat that down and expose the roots. We want a big sort of soft depression.
So we're actually just doing a bowl,
We
not
are.
a hole.
Yep. Just a bowl, not a hole.
Okay.
And you can get away with doing this in the worst clay gumbo.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
And so now we're going to take, of course, our
Right.
Arbor Gate blend.
We're going to add a square foot, so we want about a cup in here. And we know that the soil we're going to put on top is Arbor Gate Soil Complete, and we're just going to literally dump this whole bag right
Okay.
into this hole.
Is that enough?
I think we do the whole thing. There we
You
go.
want to do the whole one?
Yeah.
Okay.
We
Perfect.
have a big flat here.
Okay.
Okay. So now, like I say, what we want is just this kind of flat mound. Right
Okay.
on top of our soil is fine. Even if you have just the worst soil and you're just starting to prep your beds, this is a good way to do it. And once we have that to a good depth, then we start planting.
Okay, now I chose in this one these great calibrachoas are little million bells. I love these tiny petunias, and of course I had to pick dark purple to go in front of our
It's
lime
going to
green.
be gorgeous.
These guys stay about this high, but they're going to get about 18, 20 inches wide. They'll crawl through the rocks, they'll crawl up under here. I love them.
Yeah, they cascade beautifully. So we're going to set these out and decide where we want them first, so that I'm sure I kind of like my spacing. I think 5.
That looks great.
I think 5 and we're good. 6 and we're good to go.
Okay, perfect.
All right, let's get these in.
All right, so we're just going to dig our hole.
And look how easy this is.
I know,
No
don't
tools
you
now.
love
It's
it?
just
and I'm
with our
gonna throw
hands.
another little extra
That'll work.
papa there.
Stir it around. Settle them in place.
Wow, this is so fast.
It just makes gardening easier and quicker. You don't have to worry about tilling everything in. We don't kill any earthworms.
Well, and then like you said, we're just adding another layer
We are.
of organic matter, material, food, soil.
And every time we do this, this bed gets a little better for it.
All right, that was fast.
And once we mulch, it's going to look just the same as the rest of the garden. These are off to a great start. And that was what, 15 minutes of our time?
At the most. But what great fun.
It is a fun.
Thank you, Angela.
Thank you, Beverly.